In India, it is a literal treasure that provides a livelihood for millions. In ancient Greek medical texts, it was firmly recorded as a healing remedy. In Arab culture, it stands as an irreplaceable symbol of sheer luxury. Fast forward to New York, and it quietly transforms autumn lattes into an absolute art form. Spanning centuries and shattering every border, cardamom is the true, undisputed queen of spices of the world. But there is a little-known truth. This elegant, refined spice actually conceals an incredibly turbulent historical record. It is the very soul of the tropical climate, once acting as the blood-soaked currency of Eastern empires. And somehow, it followed fierce Viking warriors across thousands of nautical miles to become an absolute culinary obsession in the freezing, coldest nations of Northern Europe today. How exactly did the real story unfold? At its absolute core, cardamom is an intensely aromatic spice. Science classifies it right into the ginger family. Its official name is Zingiberaceae. If we dive deeper into the taxonomy, it belongs to two distinct genera. Those are the Elitaria genus and the Amomum genus. Imagine a perennial herbaceous plant. Its height can tower anywhere from 6 feet to nearly 10 feet. On those massive stalks, seed pods begin to emerge. They are incredibly tiny, spindle-shaped, sometimes featuring a triangular cross-section. Encased on the outside is a shell as fragile and paper-thin as a literal sheet of paper. But do not let that delicate shell fool you. Inside is an entirely different world. That is where clusters of seeds lay hidden. They are incredibly tiny, rock-hard, and full of sharp, jagged edges. Their color shifts wildly with nature, from a deep, dark, reddish brown, all the way to a mysterious, pitch black. Its flavor profile is a genuine masterpiece. Try biting into a single green cardamom seed. You will feel a massive explosion right inside your oral cavity. First comes the intense, heavy aroma of pine wood. Next is a gentle, lingering sweetness, exactly like the scent of spring florals. Finally, it finishes you off with a sharp, cooling sensation. A bright hit of lemon intertwined with icy mint. Thanks to this colossal flavor spectrum, the world has bestowed upon it an incredibly proud title, the Queen of Spices. To truly understand its core value, we have to rewind time. The Queen's journey stretches back over 4,000 years, right from the very dawn of human civilization. The ancient Sumerians, Babylonians, and Assyrians all knew about it, but they absolutely did not use it for cooking. What about the ancient Egyptians? They had a vastly different application. They took the pods and chewed them directly in their mouths. The goal was to clean their teeth, eradicate foul breath. Basically, it was the exact equivalent of ancient toothpaste. That is exactly why the Wrigley Company literally infused it into their modern chewing gum line, branded as Eclipse Breeze Exotic Mint. The solemn promise? It will completely annihilate the most stubborn bad breath. Meanwhile, in ancient India, the Ayurvedic medical system revered it as a clinical remedy, used to literally save human lives. It was the antidote for snake and scorpion venom. Fast forward to the 16th century. German botanist Jacob Tabernamontanus stepped onto the scene. He began experimenting. He took these seeds and ruthlessly crushed them. Then, he mixed them with pure honey. The results were absolutely astonishing. It completely healed bruises on the skin. An incredibly ingenious solution. Even its very name carries the heavy weight of history, stemming straight from ancient Greek. Written as Cardamom, it is a fusion of two distinct words, cardamom, meaning cress, watercress, and amomon, meaning a spice plant. But the oldest linguistic clue of all isn't written on paper. It is etched deep into stone. From the Mycenaeans of the Bronze Age, the characters Cardamom were discovered, written in the ancient linear B-syllabic script. This stone tablet lay silently inside the royal archives, located within the sacred house of the Sphinxes. Its price tag is also absolutely astronomical. It is the third most expensive spice on the entire planet, sitting only behind saffron threads and vanilla. Why is it so obscenely expensive? The secret lies in a brutal 6-to-1 ratio. To produce exactly 1 kilogram, about 2.2 pounds, of the dried spice, workers have to handpick precisely 6 kilograms of fresh pods. Everything is done entirely by manual labor. Absolutely no machinery. Incredibly grueling, back-breaking work. Patience is also pushed to its absolute limit. Plant a seedling into the dirt. You have to wait a grueling 3 solid years. Only then does the plant mature and bear fruit. And the yield? Unbelievably low. On average, a single plant produces a maximum of just 10 pods. Just imagine that. A massive, towering plant yielding a mere 10 tiny pods. How much does that actually equate to when ground up? A measly 1.5 teaspoons of spice powder. An almost unbelievable level of scarcity. It doesn't stop there. The harvest race is a literal life or death battle. Freshly picked pods carry an incredibly high moisture content. They absolutely must be dried. And the ticking clock only allows for exactly 18 hours. Any slight delay creates a total catastrophe. The pods will instantly rot. They will permanently lose their natural green color and completely evaporate their entire flavor profile. Despite its exorbitant price tag, the world has never stopped craving it. Look at the numbers. In 2022, the entire world produced a colossal amount, exactly 138,888 tons, a record-breaking number. Market power lies in the hands of 3 nations. They control a staggering 85% of total global production. Leading the pack is India with 41,000 tons, closely followed by Indonesia with 40,565 tons, and sitting in third place is Guatemala with 36,407 tons. But why on earth is Guatemala on this list? This is the exact paradox. The homeland of this plant is Asia. It was born in the regions of southern India and Sri Lanka, beneath the canopy of tropical monsoon forests. It is completely alien to the soil of Central America. Yet, from 1979 to 1980, a seismic shift occurred. Guatemala suddenly overthrew India. They rose up to become the largest production empire on the globe. How did that happen? It was all thanks to one single man. His name was Oskar Magnus Klöfer. He was a German coffee planter. Right on the eve of World War I, he quietly brought the seeds to plant in Guatemala, an accidental act, but it permanently rewrote the economic map. Now, let's dive deep into its microscopic structure. Inside the dried seed powder is a complex laboratory. It contains 49.05% starch, 12.72% protein, roughly 9% moisture. Additionally, there is 8.50% crude fiber and 6.97% ash. But its true power doesn't lie there. It lies in the 8.79% volatile essential oils. This essential oil content can sometimes fluctuate and hit the 8% mark. The compound that dictates the aroma is 1,8-cineol. Its power is incredibly overwhelming. But this compound has a fatal flaw. It is extremely vulnerable to heat. Try heating it to 110 degrees Celsius, 230 degrees Fahrenheit, or simply leaving it out under the scorching sun. A chemical disaster will occur. the 1,8 cineol content collapses uncontrollably. It plummets down to a mere 29.4%. The original flavor profile is dead. Instead, new substances are born. The linylyl acetate compound suddenly spikes to 17.8%. Borneol hits the 12.1% mark. The quality of the spice is completely mutated. Its enemies are crystal clear. They are light, air, heat, and humidity. You absolutely must store it in an airtight container. Keep it in a cool, dark place. Never, ever put it in the refrigerator. Cold temperatures will annihilate the aroma. Properly stored raw pods can survive for 2 to 3 years. But what about the pre-ground powder? It evaporates incredibly fast. In just 8 to 9 months, it completely loses its scent. You should buy the whole pods. Toast them lightly in a skillet before using. It will awaken the essential oils. And remember this carefully. When cooking stews, fish the pods out before eating. Biting straight into a pod will trigger an incredibly harsh, overwhelming shock of flavor. Need something more aggressive? Look for black cardamom. The pods are larger, wrinkled, and bear a deep, dark black color. They are dried directly over roaring open flames. The result is an incredibly dense, heavy, smoky aroma. The scent of earth, of tree resin, and the icy coolness of menthol. Absolutely never use it for sweet dishes. The smoky flavor will completely destroy the structural integrity of the dish. Run out of the green kind? Just mix cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, cloves, or allspice. Run out of the black kind? Smoky chipotle chili powder mixed with star anise is the perfect savior. The traveling journey of this seed creates a massive polarization. The most deeply infatuated region in the world is the Middle East. They devour up to 80% of the entire global supply. Let's take an example from 2009 to 2010. Saudi Arabia bought 1,117.7 tons from India. That accounted for a staggering 69% of that nation's total export volume. Why are they so obsessed? Because of gawa, the traditional coffee beverage. Cardamom is the absolute kryptonite to caffeine. It neutralizes the harshness of the coffee, extinguishes headaches. In fact, the scientific community believes it is tied to the culture of polygamy. People believe it boosts vitality and cures male impotence. Now let's fly over to the exact opposite side of the globe, the freezing Nordic region. Sweden is one of the top consumers in the world. Why would a freezing, icy land be so crazy about a tropical spice? It all started back in the 9th century. Fierce Viking warriors sailed all the way to Constantinople. They discovered this bizarre seed. They carried it across thousands of miles of violent, raging seas, back to the Scandinavian peninsula. Ever since then, it became the very soul of the Cardamom pastry, radiating its aroma inside traditional pula and julakaka. Cardamom is, in reality, a literal medical treasure chest. With just 2 tiny grams of powder, roughly 1 teaspoon. You load your body with 6 calories and 1.3 grams of carbohydrates. It has 0.5 grams of fiber. It contains anywhere from 8 to 10 milligrams of calcium and 0.2 milligrams of iron. It is abundantly rich in vitamin A, vitamin C, phosphorus, and potassium. Its medicinal power is colossal. It stimulates digestive enzymes, wipes out bloating and stomach aches, soothes nausea. It acts as an expectorant, providing spectacular support for patients with asthma and pulmonary congestion. It doesn't stop there. It protects the heart by lowering blood pressure. Completely defeats bad LDL cholesterol and triglycerides. Elevates good HDL cholesterol. It helps restore pancreatic cells to fight off diabetes. It is even a natural antibiotic, resisting dangerous bacteria like E. coli and S. aureus. highly potent anti-inflammatory and antispasmodic properties. This greatness is nothing new. It was defined back in antiquity. From 721 to 702 BC, the Babylonian king Merodach Baladan II ordered it to be grown right inside the royal gardens. In 126 AD, it was slapped with a luxury tax at the port of Alexandria. The Romans used it to craft perfumes. The Greeks used it to cure digestion. Thousands of years have passed, empires have crumbled, the world has completely transformed. But the value of cardamom still stands tall. The next time you see these little green pods sitting in your kitchen, pause for just a beat. Remember, you aren't just tasting an aroma. You are touching the sheer brutality of 18 hours of sweat-soaked drying. You are tasting the toothpaste of Egyptian pharaohs, holding the exact spoils of war of Viking warriors right in your hands. It is a profound reminder that even the absolute tiniest seed carries within it a colossal legacy stretching across the entirety of human civilization.